Perfect. Okay. Good morning, everybody. So I'm Stephanie Cavino. I'm the program manager for the Blackstone Watershed Collaborative. Do you want to introduce yourself? Bouvet?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
That's okay.
Hi, Ted Beauvais with the Blackstone River Watershed Association.
Thanks, Ted. John?
John Moslin with Blackstone River Watershed Council and Friends of the Blackstone.
Ray?
Ray Kelly, ZAP 50 board, and in Millbury, the Nature Trails Committee.
Greg?
Greg Dorschler, a Worcester resident and the Worcester Intercollegiate Outdoors Initiative Coordinator with the Greater Worcester Land Trust.
Thanks. Susan?
Hi, Susan Gorelick, Coalition Center for Environmental Sustainability and steering team for ZAP 50.
Patty?
Patty McAlpine with Blackstone Valley Tourism Council, and not a real active member on the steering committee, but I am working with ZAP, Donna, Kayla, and ZAP 50 in our office.
Thanks, Patty. Patty Burke?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm with Upper Blackstone Clean Water in Millbury, and I'm in the pretreatment and lab department.
Thanks. Phyllis?
Phyllis Shapantia, Manchog Pond Foundation, up on the Mumford tributary.
Connor?
Hi, my name is Connor. I'm the interim planner for the town of Millbury.
Thanks, Connor. Kelly?
Hi, everyone. Kelly King, planner with the Horsley Witten Group.
And Nick?
Hi there, this is Nick Cohen. I'm a planner also with the Horsley Witten Group.
Zach?
Hello, Zach Blaze. I'm with the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission.
Thanks, Zach. Peter?
Peter Coffin with the Blackstone River Coalition, Blackstone Headwaters Coalition.
Sarah?
Hi, everyone. Sarah Bauer with the Massachusetts Rivers Alliance. I'm their technical specialist.
Kay? Oh, we maybe lost Kay. Maybe she'll pop back on. Let's see, where are we? Bryce. If you can get to it. Otherwise, I can introduce you.
Hi, y'all. Bryce Dubois, assistant professor at Rhode Island School of Design and member of the SNEP network.
Thanks. Good.
Hi, David Tapscott, Uxbridge Board of Health.
Thanks, David. Okay. So we're going to be having Allison Hamill from Rhode Island DOT do a presentation today. We don't have her on yet. I haven't gotten an email from her, so I'll send her a little note and just make sure that she's still able to join us and make sure something didn't happen. But we can move on right now, and we'll put her back in later to our subgroup updates. So first up is the municipal resolutions. So let me just pull up my spreadsheet here, which I've actually been using finally. So I have, I'm working with Boylston and Upton. They both said that they would like to progress this. They just haven't put it on the agenda yet. We are also similarly working with Douglas. They've said they'd be supportive. They haven't picked an agenda date. And Northbridge just put it on their agenda. Will be presenting on May 23rd. And in the meantime, we've also passed it in Sutton. I have to say, kudos to Sutton. They were one of the most engaged boards I've ever presented to. They asked questions for an hour after the presentation, very thoughtful questions. So they are really interested in the work that we're doing. And Sutton, Northbridge, and Douglas, I'll be talking about a little bit later as well. They've volunteered or been selected. been voluntold, I suppose, to participate in that grant that I'm working on for the SNAP watershed implementation grants. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but let's see. John has also.
Could I just make a comment on Sutton? No, I saw it and it was a great program. You made a great presentation, so kudos to you.
Thank you.
I also think Phil Charpentier and other Sutton residents kind of lined it up for you because they've got a good working relationship taking over the Sutton Dam, the Selectmen Trust, the Manchog Pond, the conservation. They got it together finally. So yes. Upton, and Mendon, we should be able to get a good reception for you in Mendon. So it takes time, but I think you got a good audience and a good program. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I have spoken to Anne in Mendon as well, and she kind of said she's not sure when the timing will be right to get things on the agenda. A lot of communities are going through town meeting coming up soon, so everyone wants to put things on hold until after that, which is entirely reasonable. Worcester, for instance, said, yes, we want to do this, but can we put you on the agenda in June? And I was like, sure, go ahead, that's fine, no time. So yeah, it's fine, take time. And you're totally right. I think all of the work that I'm doing is basically standing on the shoulders of giants and kind of being able to step in for the decades of great work that's come before me. So it's a good note to make. John put it through. So thank you, John, working in Burrillville. So that's been passed as well. I think I mentioned last time that we also passed in Lincoln and Smithfield. So we have quite a few. Also, the Grafton was a bit of a miscommunication, but we did present to the Conservation Commission. They wrote a letter of support asking the Board of Selectmen to present it. So we'll be coming back to present to the Board of Selectmen as well, coming up soon. So that's my update. Anything else from folks on that?
Yeah, Uxbridge, we're slated for Monday night. I had something come up family-wise, and I didn't know if you wanted to do it or have me postpone for 2 weeks. It's your call.
I have it on my agenda. I was going to ask you about that. I wasn't sure if it was actually for sure it was happening and how you felt about it.
It's for sure. I just can't do it. That's the problem.
Okay.
And I was going to either postpone it or if you want to do it, of course, it's fine.
It's up to you. I don't, I'm not sure how supportive they're going to be either way.
The Concom will be much more supportive.
Okay, is this Concom on Monday?
This is Concom. Yeah, the Board of Selectmen are careful.
Yes. I put it on my agenda. My calendar is just Uxbridge, so I guess I didn't put Concom. But yeah, no, I'm happy to present to Concom. That's fine.
All right. Oh, thank you. Wonderful.
No problem. Anything else? Okay. Zap, yes, Ray, do you want to give us an update?
Sure, he said after he unmuted.
Sorry, I was going to say, I did not screen share with you, so hang on 1 second. I can make you a co-presenter.
Please.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find you on my list here. There you are.
I'm in the Millbury section. All right, there we go. Nope, wrong button. There we go. All right, good morning, everyone. I have a short presentation. Most of you folks are pretty well aware of a lot of the stuff we're doing within ZAP. So let's see if we can breeze through this. So taking action, I think, is probably our theme for the rest of the year in terms of getting things done. So I think, as most of you know, August 27th, September 10th are our big days. Cleanup, green up, and improvement projects on August 27th, and then the celebration and activity day on September 10th. And those are what we're focused on, and everything is trying to get to that point, as well as bringing people to the collaborative, to the partners long term. So what have we been doing lately? We've been working with many municipalities and groups across the watershed. We've got a great response from many places. There is one issue with Earth Day. It's just certainly taking a lot of resources. So we expect to hear back a lot more information, a lot more responses right after Earth Day. Some folks are saying, "Hey, we're pretty busy with Earth Day. Let's talk about this in a couple of weeks." So we expect a lot of things to fall into place soon. Very shortly. Additionally, within Millbury, on the Nature Trails Committee, where I serve, we're going to be working on the bikeway. And we know that there's some issues in the Millbury Worcester area with trash and other things. So we're hoping that that we can make a good impact there. Let me just drag this out of the way. Come on. There we go. And then so we're getting, I guess, a little more well known. The press has started to reach out to us, which is great. So we expect that to continue. A lot of conversations, hopefully get into Projo and other places. Again, our zaptheblackstone.com is still our hub for information, contact, sign up, submissions, and that's being updated. More history stuff's being added. So if you're looking for more information, please contact us directly or just head on over. Our meetings continue where we're meeting every other Monday. We've had to adjust due to Memorial Day, Earth Day, probably July 4th. We're moving stuff around, but generally every other Monday. And now we have a board meeting, a quick board meeting, and then we have the steering team, which is, again, a lot shorter than it was in the past. So if you're worried about spending a lot of time, if you want to come, it's just 45 minutes and, try to make things quick and efficient. So what does ZAP 50 need going forward? We still need volunteers. We still need projects, and that's at the organizational level or even employers if they want to start submitting, corporate type actions. I'm going to be talking to my company and see what sort of projects we can get people involved with at my company. We're still looking for sponsors. Those are coming in, and from a variety of things. Whether it's funding or whether it's dumpsters, supplies. We're getting some good progress there, and we do need steering team members that can help us plan these things out and make them happen. The volunteers are definitely key day of, as we get closer, but steering team members are definitely pretty important getting up to that point. And here's, again, the general categories of all the things that we're looking at, all things that we're doing. Different days need different things. Certainly some of this stuff, a lot of it's front loaded before in the planning side, but there's a lot of categories that people can help us in. So what can organizations do for ZAP? This list is still the same. Registering as a partner, that list continues to grow. Nominating a liaison to attend the steering team and notifying your membership about ZAP and request or nominate people to be local coordinators. We're still building our local coordinator captain list. We're going to have a meeting of those folks, anyone who's interested. I forgot to mention that here. We're going to have a meeting of that April 27th. So that would be great if people can suggest folks that are interested and get them to that meeting. It's another Zoom meeting. So that will lay out a lot of our plans for the local coordinators. Really get that jump started at the local level. We also need projects. So any organizations that want to submit their projects, those are coming in as well. And if you have contacts at the municipality level for groups outside the collaborative, potential sponsors, we'll take all those things. And also promoting zaptheblackstone.com on your website and at your events. We are starting to get that. There's going to be discussion of ZAP 50 at Earth Day events, at BRWA events, at their fishing day. So their family fishing day, I think it's called. So the more people hear about us, the more people in the collaborative and our partners can talk about it. the more we expect to get traction and make good progress. So again, zaptheblackstone.com and info@zaptheblackstone.com. Those are the best ways to contact us. And yeah, we're moving along, a lot of momentum, and it just keeps growing week by week, it seems. So that's it. Any questions?
Thanks, Ray. I have a question.
Sure.
You mentioned, and I know I've been telling communities they can go on the website and put in a project that needs help and,
Sure.
and connect to volunteers. Can you clarify on how to do that? Is it a different form than the volunteer sign up form? Because I went to do it on the volunteer sign up form for a community, and then I was like, wait, now I'm confused. So I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, give me
Just emailing you.
2 seconds and I can show you. It's really pretty easy, but if you haven't done it before, certainly. When I did it the first time, I did it very carefully. Careful clicks. So I'm trying to remember where it is. So if you come back. Project submission form. So help identify project sites is down here. Project submission form, and so you can just put all this in. So location, town, state, type of project, details. What kind of project is it? Easy, medium, difficult, with some details there. Adults, family friendly, number of volunteers. So pretty straightforward.
Perfect. I was going to the volunteer form instead of this form, so I will make sure to note that when I talk to folks. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but I just posted a link in the chat for the Pakuka Chuka talk that they do down in Providence, and the theme for April is showers. And in the description, there was a line that says, "How has water impacted?" So I thought, hey, this might be an opportunity. I forwarded it to Donna Kayla to, even if we put together a PowerPoint with a little bit from the ZAP video. But the link is for presenters. So if there's any interest, I mean, it could also be a way to highlight the needs assessment as well, Stephanie. So I just shared that with you guys so you can take a look at it by going to that link.
Cool, thanks.
Ray Kelly, Peter Coffin here.
Hey, Peter
Kudos
Coffin.
to your organization skills, as always. And the Zap the Blackstone, taking action. That's your theme, but to me, that's the definition of ZAP. What do we mean by Zap the Blackstone?
Sure.
Little things that people can do. So thank you for that.
Yep. I just added it to the, to the PowerPoint. Just needed a subtitle, some sort of subtitle. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Perfect. And just to add on to that, I wanted to also remind folks that we are also having these sort of third Saturdays from April to July, kind of leading up to all these other events. So they're not official ZAP events, maybe, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, it's in the spirit of promoting everyone can get involved. There's always something to do, getting out in the watershed. So I put it on our website on the collab/event/Blackstone Days. It's not fantastic. I really need to I need to break them out into separate events, I think, and then create like a Facebook thing for each event, and it would be more clear. But so this Saturday, which is tomorrow, if anyone wants to join us, we'll be meeting at 3 p.m. at the Sycamore Landing, which is the Blackstone River Watershed Council Friends of the Blackstone site. It's 100 New River Road, Manville. And we'll be, I don't know, John, if you want, or Patty, if you guys want to jump in here, but we'll be doing a hike, talking about Blue Mind, being on near around water, relieve stress and anxiety. And also Patty's going to be leading us on this River as Muse program. Excuse me. And we'll also have some folks from RISD. I'm not sure if Bryce will be joining us, but Emily Vogel will be joining us. She did a presentation previously on connecting to the river, and we'll offer an opportunity for people to write letters to the river of, if you could say something to Blackstone, what would you say? And RISD does anticipate to take some of those of what people write and publish them later on. So it's a really interesting opportunity. Patty or John, do you want to add anything?
Well, I just want to say for the poetry piece, this is National Poetry Month, April, and it ties in with Emily's project, the Blackstone Commons and writing letters. I am just going to be sort of facilitating by providing some prompts to help people kind of get going with writing a letter or a poem that then can be submitted for Emily's project and connecting the Blackstone Commons. And just in case, just a couple of things I'm going to be using. Some of the prompts are going to come actually from the Blue Mind Study Guide, the book that John has mentioned. And I also picked up the book Water Protectors, which is a illustrated children's book, but I love picture books. And one of the things is called a found poem, to use that book to kind of take the words and then rewrite them in a way to address the Blackstone or the Kitticock River. I'm starting to use Kitticock more often because I've been also reading a lot of Indigenous poetry and participating in some webinars with Indigenous writers. So I'm trying to bring that into it too, kind of following along with John's theme there at Sycamore Landing of trying to be more respectful of nature and treating it as a living thing.
I can add on that. So it's going to start at 3. We'll do the Blue Mind Walk a little bit after 3. And then the poetry will take place. And there's benches around the site that participants can sit on to write their poetry if they'd like. They don't have to not go back to our facility. They can stay out there and sit on the benches and write their poetry. And then at some point, we're going to do a half-mile walk down to a vernal pool where the peepers are. And that's going to be the program.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And continuing that for our next third Saturday, so May 21st, we're going to be highlighting an event that's already occurring, the First Strike Festival in Pawtucket. I have a new picture that I have to put up here, which I can't see right now. Here you go. Here's the poster for that. So it'll be with the Park Service and co-hosted by House of Glitter. And it's highlighting the first mill strike in America, which happened here. And it was 100 women getting together, organizing for better pay and better time of not having really long hours. And they won that strike. So it'll be commemorating that. In June, we'll be highlighting the Blackstone River Theater's Summer Solstice Festival. So tons of information here. Tickets aren't technically on sale yet, but hopefully they will be soon. And then in July, we're going to be working with Blackstone River Coalition and Mass Audubon and hosting a tour of some nature-based solutions up in Worcester, because I'm ignoring my my headwaters here for all of these other events happening in Rhode Island. So I want to make sure we got up to Worcester as well. So those are other Blackstone ZAP events coming up. Anything else on ZAP?
There's Stephanie, there's also Park Serve Day 2022. I know the Blackstone River Watershed Association, we work with Riverbend Farm, and we're going to be there Saturday, April 23rd from 10 to 3 doing various cleanup and other projects. And this, I believe, is for Massachusetts state parks statewide, that they have this Park Serve Day coming up on April 23rd. You're muted, Stephanie.
It is good that when you talk, it at least pops up and says you're muted. Is that what you mean? And you have to like find the box. Anyway, you said that's at Riverbend Farm?
Yes, the one we're participating in is at Riverbend Farm, because that's kind of our home base, and we have a long-standing partnership with that particular facility. But I believe it's maybe a statewide opportunity.
Great, thank you. I will find Oh, thanks, Phyllis. Phyllis, do you want to say something about that too?
Sure, I just wanted to mention that next Saturday, we're having our annual spring cleanup. It's a lake and watershed cleanup. So we do the ramp, the lake shoreline, and the roadsides. We use the boat ramp, the state public boat ramp in Sutton near the dam as our meeting point, and volunteers go off 2 by 2 out into the watershed. Children are welcome, but we try to keep them at the ramp just because of the narrow roads and all. And we're using the volunteer time as a match for our 319 grant. So everyone's welcome, and we provide refreshments and gloves, trash bags, and it's a good day.
Awesome, thank you. I will put all of these in our events, and there's more time for updates after too. Anything else on that? Okay. Moving on to Bikeway Greenway. I know we don't have, excuse me, gosh, our main folks who are usually involved in that and provide updates. Does anyone else have updates on Bikeway Greenway funding, building, etc.? Okay, I know there's a lot of earmarks happening right now and a lot of funding going out, so hopefully we'll get an update on that one soon. Any water quality updates? Peter, did you want to mention your opportunity?
Yes, sad news is Nicole Bratsos has gone on to a better paid position and full-time in Hopkinton, not too far away. So the position of water quality monitor is open. It's a part-time, starting off at $20 an hour, can grow from there. It's probably a 10-hour a week job commitment. And our first water quality testing was the second Saturday. So last week kicked off, and it's going well. Always need more volunteers, but we're pretty well staffed. So good news and bad news.
Okay. You said 10-hour a week opportunity. Okay. Thank you. Anything else for water quality?
Yeah, I have a quick update. Upper Blackstone's starting our river monitoring program that we collaborate with UMass Amherst, CDM Smith, and the Narragansett Bay Commission. So that's starting in April. We go through November, and we're just sampling, and then they're going to be testing different nutrients, solids, and then we do our data loggers, which is DO and temp. So that's going to be starting this month.
Awesome. And where do you sample?
So we have a handful of different sites. UMass Amherst typically takes like the upper sites, and we do mostly in Rhode Island. So like the Slater Mill area, some areas in Cumberland. It's all on our website if anybody's interested. All of the sample areas are mapped out.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you put me a link to that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I didn't know about that program. That's good. And I actually have a question for while we're on this call for water quality. I've gotten the question a couple of times if anyone does soil testing for, I know we have contaminated toxic soils behind some of our dams. Does anyone do testing on those, or do we just kind of like let them be and not disturb them? I'm going to take that silence as no one's doing the testing. David, do you have something?
Yeah, let me chime in on that. We're exploring that. We're with our MVP activity because we're looking at dam removals, and sampling the sediment behind the dams is a big issue, and the cost is going to be about $1,000 per sample, and I think it has to be done privately. Whoever is funding whatever you're doing, pays to have it done with private, contracting labs. Testing for petroleum stuff, VOCs, heavy metals, whatever it's usually a whole studio of things. That's as much as I know about it. I can't give you any more specifics, but
okay. No, that's interesting to know. like I said, I've gotten the question a couple times, and I've basically said, I think everyone's just not disturbing them to put them up into the water column.
Yeah, you don't want to disturb them until you know what's there.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Because they may have to be removed before they're disturbed, and how you remove them is incredibly difficult.
Inexpensive.
Definitely.
That's as much as
There's a lot of good information from the Blackstone River Initiative, and I don't think it's changed. It was done in the 1990s. The Army Corps did a detailed of many impoundments, and more recently, USGS has done some. So yes, that's big, expensive, and usually state or federal agencies.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a couple more updates. Saturday on April 16th at 9 a.m. in the morning, we're doing a cleanup on Canal Street, North Smithfield and Socket Line. There's about 50 tires in the canal there and a bunch of big trash, and it's terrible up there. And we have two other sites, Sycamore Landing and the Linesdale Drive-In. The other two sites for the cleanups on April 16th. And then April 22nd, on Friday, Earth Day, we're having the premiere for Kitticook Speaks at the Blackstone River Theater, 549 Broad Street in Cumberland, Rhode Island. It's a free event.
Okay. Excuse me. So just going through the rest of our sort of subgroup updates, do we have anything for university work? I don't know if we have any of our university contacts on today, actually. No, okay.
The BRWA just wrote a support letter. Worcester State is going for a water quality monitoring. It sounds like a great program.
Yeah, so they'll be working in Tatnick Brook, which is one of the tributaries to the Blackstone, one of the headwater tributaries. They've been doing this program, I think, with some of their students, and they're requesting funding through Congressman McGovern for continuation of that water quality monitoring program. So BRWC, I don't know my acronyms, BRC and BRWA wrote a co-letter of support, and I wrote a letter of support from the collab saying that water quality monitoring was really important. It's identified within the needs assessment report, and also education is also identified in the report. So those were helping us meet these larger goals. Anything on fish passage? No. Okay. All right. So I did talk to Allison, and she's so sorry that she wasn't able to join early. She's going to try and hop on and give us a presentation about the RIDOT info a little bit later in our meeting. So we kind of had some partner updates already, but any other updates that people want to share about events that you have coming up or projects that you're working on that you'd like to share about?
Hi, Stephanie, Patty. I just like to share, I know I brought up that, the Tourism Council is planning on some open houses, and the dates have kind of changed since the last time I reported, only because we want the mayor and some of the other key players involved. So we had to change the date. So we're going to have a Rivers Day type of celebration Sunday, June 5th. That's to get people out on the water. The Explorer will be running that day. Our kayaks and canoes will be available for rent, or I'm not sure how. I'm not involved with piecing it together. The event details will be up by next week, so I will forward that to you. But everybody's welcome to come by. And on Tuesday evening, June 21st, between 5:30 and 7, will be an open house and ribbon cutting of our office space and River Classroom, which is up on the 3rd floor of the building there. It will also involve Shark's Peruvian cuisine. They do have good food. We'll be using their banquet space on the 2nd floor. And so it'll be a ribbon cutting for all 3 sites there at that location. And again, that will be free and open to the public, and invitations will be going out for that. And just on the other thing, on the September 10th event, Bob wants to make sure everyone that's been involved on cleanups along the river, that they come to this event. They're working on a music lineup. working with Michael Graham Adamowitz, who has spearheaded the Pawtucket Arts Festival songwriters concerts at Slater Mill. So he's putting together his musicians, and right now it looks like, although we're not quite sure if it's a good fit, but it looks like Steve Smith and the Nakeds will be our headliner for that day. So I'm putting together a list. I'm going to forward a copy to you, Stephanie, and to Bonnie to make sure I have everyone that should be invited for that, as far as the different organizations that's been working along the river. We don't want to leave anybody out, and this includes Massachusetts. Everybody we're welcome to come down. We're working with the National Park Service on this event too, because it is going to be free and open to the public. However, we're going to try to close down Roosevelt Ave to have food vendors and other vendors. But any organization that comes to the event, we have space for at least 20 or so tables. So if you want to set up a table to highlight what your organization is doing, that will be part of that invite as well. And that will be the September 10th event.
Perfect, thanks. Is there a place to sign up online to have a table or share info, or is that just to email you, Patty?
That will be just to email. We're working, Mike Martin in our office is working on the invite with Bob. And I told him as soon as you have it to let me know and I'll send that out. But so like I said, I'll share the list with you, Stephanie, and if you see anybody, because Massachusetts, want to make sure I get every different events from places from Massachusetts. And I have a quick question for Ray. Are your cousins going to be coming to Rhode Island for any of these two big events on August 27th?
I expect they'd be there for September 10th. I'm not so sure about August 27th.
Oh, okay, I just wanted to put it out there. If they do need hotel rooms, to have them get in touch with me. We have a rate set up with the Hampton Inn in Pawtucket
Okay,
of
cool.
$99 a night. So I want to make sure we get that in line booked
All
for
right.
them.
I'll let them
Thanks.
know. Thank you.
Yep.
Awesome. Any other updates that people want to share about the organizations? Things you're working on, events to share? Okay.
Yeah, just I guess this is a good time to mention we're working on a MVP grant, and Stephanie, yeah, we'd love a letter of support at some point from the collaborative. And we're eyeing some dams. The first grant we got looked at all the dams and culverts in Uxbridge, did an assessment, and we're using the same engineering company to look at a couple of dams. One, a small dam, which is owned by the town, which should be pretty straightforward, but it's near a well. So flooding can pose a problem with the municipal water quality. The other is more of a dangerous dam. It's on the Mumford River. There are something like 5 dams on the Mumford, which feeds directly, big tributary of the Blackstone. And this is just one, but just downstream is an apartment complex for elderly. And the dam is not in good shape. So we're starting a feasibility study and working with the Office of Dam Safety and all the wonderful people at the state bureaucracy. They really are good. Very responsive, but that's where we're going. And we'll be putting in an application. It's due, as you noted in your minutes or in the agenda, it's due May 5th. And that one we have the backing of the Board of Selectmen, I think, because it's brick and mortar.
Infrastructure, yeah. Let me
Yeah.
know if you can provide me
Okay.
a quick overview of what you're trying to do. And if
will.
there are any specific points you'd like me to include in the letter of support, let me know
Yeah.
and I'll happily get that to
Okay,
you.
I will do that. Yep, thank you.
And just a couple quick reminders, Blackstone River Watershed Association, on our website, we're showing a couple of upcoming events. This BRWA.org, we have our annual meeting, May 18th, Grafton Library. There's going to be a good presentation on Packagug and the headwaters area of the Blackstone and the American Indian heritage there. And then we're also Family Fun Fishing Day at Riverbend Farm on June 4th. And that's an annual event. We get sometimes a couple hundred people. Hopefully, post-COVID, we're not quite post, but hopefully we'll get a good turnout. And that's a real fun event for families.
And Ted, I know on that one, I've been talking to RISD as well, and we're hoping to do a pop-up event at your Family Fun Fishing Day. I think that Emily's not able to personally come, but I can be there. I was going to be there anyway, and Bryce might be able to be there, maybe ? So we'll put something together.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I went last year and it was fantastic. It was really fun, even though I know nothing about fishing. Any other updates that people want to share or events? And feel free to put them in the chat or email me as well if you want me to put them in the notes after. Okay, with that, we have Allison. Thank you, Allison, for joining us. So I'm going to hand it over to you. Let me let you share your screen. Give me 1 second. And if you want to introduce yourself while I'm doing that.
Helps if I unmute. So apologies for the bad lighting. I'm connected to the wall, so this is what I have in my kitchen right now. But thank you for having me, and apologies for showing up a little bit late. I am Allison Hamill, and I work for the Rhode Island Department of Transportation, which seems kind of weird on the offset that a transportation scientist is going to be talking about environmental work. But there's a reason, I promise there's a reason why I'm here and have been joining all of these Blackstone meetings. So long story short, and I'll share my screen in a minute, but DOT has been doing a lot of work over the past 7 years with environmental work, directly connected to our MS4 permit, which is the municipal separate storm sewer system permit, the RIPDES permit in Rhode Island, the NIPDES permit in Massachusetts. And we have been really and doing great work. And I just wanted to kind of showcase it to this group because I really feel like we could be doing great things together. So I wanted to, let me show my screen. I'm going to turn off my video because I feel like that's going to just be distracting. Let me turn off that video. There we go. That way I don't see myself and see how crazy I look. Share. I'm just trying to get to the right program. There we are. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes.
Excellent. So as I was mentioning, it's kind of not intuitive that the Department of Transportation would be so interested in stormwater and water quality and all of these good things. But when we think about transportation and DOT, and Mass DOT is doing very similar things. We're really good partner agencies in a lot of things. We are really looking at our roadways and our parking lots and all of the impervious that DOT owns over the entire state of Rhode Island. So normally in the before times, and right now I'm saying before times, not pre-COVID, but pre-consent decree. So BCE or BCD, I guess. So before our consent decree, we really only cared about, flooding and traffic safety and a little bit about the environment, but we are regulated like other cities and towns in Massachusetts and Rhode Island under a general permit with our environmental agencies. In Rhode Island, it's DEM. In Massachusetts, it's, I believe, DEP. Although in Massachusetts, EPA oversees their NIPDES program. And as you can see, these are all of our DOT roadways in Rhode Island. The red ones are our major highways, 95, 295, 146 and whatnot. And we have a lot of road. We have 1,100 miles of road, 1,100 bridges, railway stations, lots of pedestrian bike paths. So we own a lot of impervious cover. And as you all know, with impervious cover, it has a direct impact on water quality to our rivers and streams in Narragansett Bay. So when we look at, the overlay of our water bodies and our Narragansett Bay and our DOT roadways, we can see why DOT is such an key stakeholder in water quality. And as I mentioned, we're regulated, and there are, I could give hour-long presentation in acronyms and permittees and all of this, but it basically says, manage what you got, know what you got, and do something about it. For a long time, DOT did some, but not enough. And we actually got called out on our non-compliance with our permit. In particular, we got called out on the illicit discharge detection and elimination. That is all about connections to our storm system that should not be, like illegal in-law apartments connected, their toilet connected directly to our catch basin, or failed sewer systems that are leaking into our storm pipes. Good housekeeping is all about street sweeping and catch basin cleaning, and pretty much what you expect a DPW or our maintenance division to do. And total maximum daily loads, that is all about improving water quality to impaired waters of the state. So as I mentioned, DOT did not do everything we possibly could. And in 2014, we were audited by the EPA, or actually, I think it was even earlier than that. My dates are now screwed up because of my brain fry with COVID, but we were audited by BEM, and we said, and then we were audited by EPA, and they decided that we were not doing everything we should be doing. So they said, not only are you not doing it, but you have proved you're not doing everything because, well, you wrote your annual reports and said you weren't doing it. So we didn't really have a case on anything. So EPA said, come and negotiate with us or we'll take you to court and you will lose. So we negotiated for the better part of a year and a half and came up with a consent decree that basically said, not only will you do what you are required to do under the MS4 permit, but because you have done insufficiently over the past decade, you shall do even more. So we added fire to the hula hoops that we were going through. And it's kind of a little bit awesome in the fact that we are now have a firm document with all of our requirements laid out. So whenever there is a hiccup, I can say, nope, the consent decree is making us do it. So this consent decree has actually been a very good thing for DOT and for the environment, although I'm not sure everyone in DOT would agree with that, but definitely my office is very happy to have this document because it really means that the environmental scientists and our environmental engineers can really work towards a better goal. So when we look at the consent decree, I'm going to be real quick with this because it's really mentioning because I'm literally required to mention the consent decree because the consent decree says I have to. But we paid fines, we did some supplemental environmental programs, and the end all be all of this is that we have a compliance plan that says over the next 10 years, DOT shall do this, and every shall has a calendar date and a associated fine. So if we don't do it, then we can get fined and penalized by EPA. So as I mentioned, we're required to tell everyone that we do not do this out of the goodness of our hearts. We do this because we are required by this federal consent decree. And that is only partially true. My office really does do it out of a sense of the environment, which is why me and my staff, Mark Nemirovsky, are always on these Blackstone calls and on a lot of other watershed calls, because we like to make sure that we let people know what we are doing, because we are actually doing really good environmental work. And also that we are here to share and help in promoting environmental work. So our biggest project that I wanted to talk to you today was about the TMDL and impaired waters. When we look at the impaired waters in Rhode Island, this is a very old slide that I've pulled out of the recess of SharePoint. But within the grand scheme of things, we have done a lot of work. These are where DOT is going to be doing a lot of work. And you can see that there are a lot of watersheds that go through Massachusetts and Connecticut. And we like to partner to the best point that we can in order to get this work done. So this is, again, an old slide. I apologize that I didn't update. It's an old deck, but we have been going through our stormwater plans. I'm going to actually stop sharing this and show you the work that we've been doing, because this is an up-to-date and accurate presentation of what we've been doing. So these are all the impaired watersheds in Rhode Island. And what this is showing us is that all of these watersheds have had a stormwater control plan developed. And what that stormwater control plan is, we call them SCPs. What they detail is pretty much every square inch of DOT roadway, parking lot, maintenance facility. So everything that is under DOT's domain, we examine and we look to see the stormwater potential and the stormwater impact. And every single one of these yellow watersheds, a plan has been developed and submitted to EPA. The green watersheds have been approved by EPA. So you'll see up here in our Blackstone group that our Blackstone stormwater control plans have been approved by the EPA. And what that means is that DOT is now under a 4-year to 8-year timeline of putting in water quality treatment on every DOT roadway. And it's a long drawn out process. The red lines are all the DOT roadways. It's a really long drawn out process. And if you are really truly interested in the full extent of the work that we are doing, this is a public map. I will post this in the chat when I'm done with this little song and dance. But if you click on the watershed and you scroll all the way down, you will see that you can download and view our stormwater control plans. So you can actually see what DOT is doing. So this is the approval letter that we got. And you can actually look at the actual stormwater control plan. Oh, that's an exemption request. There's a lot of documents. It's a lot of work that goes into these things. And if you really zoom in, you'll see that when I say we really examine every square inch of DOT roadway, not only do we look for areas of potential stormwater treatment, we really look for all of these areas to see exactly what we can do. All of these polygons mean something different. You know, this one looks like this is sheet flow, and we can put in a potential stormwater treatment unit, which is water quality unit, to treat this segment of roadway. And so we really get down to the nitty gritty when we come to developing these plans. And again, each section of the Blackstone has plan. So these green polygons here, this is the Blackstone Watershed. This is what we've called the Pawtucket River water supply. This blue polygon here, Slatersville Reservoir, we will be doing that in 2024. These ones down here, the Mashashik, we just finished in December. So EPA is currently reviewing the Mashashik. Say that 3 times fast and you'll get a nice tongue twister. And so DOT has really been all over the state with these stormwater control plans. And what I wanted to share with you was really some partnership opportunities that we have possibly going on, and possibly with any of you. We are very open to partnership opportunities when it comes to these measures. So one of the things that the consent decree gave us was, you know, again, in the before times, before the consent decree, I'm just zipping through these because these are not so much, but we had one lonely scientist, and that was me way back. I got hired in 2005. The consent decree became effective in 2015. And until 2015, there was me and one sliver of one supervisor's time. The best thing that the consent decree gave to us was a crew. There is now 16 of us in our Office of Stormwater Management and Natural Resources unit. We have significantly more capability, but most importantly, we have a dedicated budget of $110 million over 10 years. And so part of that money we are using to install these stormwater treatment units, to install this water quality along the Blackstone and all of those other watersheds. And the best way that DOT can do this is through partnerships. And that's what I wanted to talk to you all today, is to see if we could develop new partnerships to help DOT, help you, help us, help the consent decree, help the environment, help the world, help everything that we can do for the Blackstone and for Narragansett Bay. And so this unit here, this is actually what we've designed and installed. We've converted this paved waterway, which was just a concrete waterway, which obviously provided zero stormwater treatment. And we've converted it into a sand filter, which provides a lot of treatment for a big segment of DOT roadway. And the best part is that our maintenance staff don't even know that it's there. They just mow it like and forget about it. So we've been very thoughtful about how we design things for our maintenance division. This one actually worked because we had a really big clover leaf. You know, we've also done a lot of public education. That's under our current MS4 program. But we've done a lot of work outside of engineering, and this is something else that DOT can partner with you all on, is making sure that the public knows, you know, don't throw your doggy poop bag into a catch basin. That's actually a significant problem down at Narragansett Beach, down at Scarborough Beach, that they throw poop bags in catch basins, and then they wonder why Scarborough Beach is closed because of the poop bags, among other reasons. But so we've done some public education. I actually designed the sign because I was having a creative moment one day, and this is available if anybody wants a little door hanger. I am more than happy to share this door hanger PDF with y'all. This is what I'm here for, the partnerships. So over the past 6 years or so, we've really gone out of our way, DOT has gone out of our way to do whatever we can. And we have definitely learned that it is better, like it is a win-win-win-win-win all the way around, to work with local groups to help us do more than what we could just possibly do on DOT roadways. One of the things about DOT roadways is that we don't have a lot of right-of-way, especially when you think of you know, the really ultra urban, you know, think, you know, downtown Providence, think, you know, Central Falls, think Woonsocket. DOT doesn't actually have a lot of right of way because it tends to be house, sidewalk, roadway, sidewalk, house. So there's not a lot of room for stormwater treatment. So we are developing these partnerships and agreements where we can do more outside of DOT's right of way and really get the bang for the buck, really put everything we can into a treatment unit that it's more than just water quality. You know, here we have an outdoor classroom with Melville Pond Watershed. We did this at a Melville elementary school. And we just took a soggy, wet piece of their schoolyard and we turned it into this beautiful rain garden that serves as an outdoor classroom, that will serve as pollinator habitat, that does the water quality, that helps alleviate the flooding in the school field. So we really look for partnerships that make a lot of sense. We're doing a lot of work with Roger Williams Park and the Providence Stormwater Innovation Center, doing a lot of public education, doing a lot of work to train and to educate. We're doing work with some entities that come to us for help. So Farm Fresh Rhode Island actually purchased a brownfield site in downtown Providence, and they decided that they wanted to do as much as they possibly could. So they were required to do, it was a redevelopment project. So that means that they had to treat 50% of their footprint. And they said, well, oh, okay, but can we do more? And you can see on this graphic over here, this is actually the Woonasquatucket River. So this was like a direct discharge to the Woonasquatucket River. And DOT stepped in and gave them funding to do the other 50% of stormwater treatment. So Farm Fresh Rhode Island is 100% stormwater neutral. Not 1 ounce of stormwater comes off of that building or that parking lot or those sidewalks. Every single ounce of stormwater is treated in that facility. And that was part because they were required to by DEM regulations. And the other part was because DOT wanted credit, because everything we do is for credit. Every single thing we do is for credit. But we wanted credit and we wanted to help the Woonasquatucket. So DOT was able to get half of the parking lot as credit because we gave them the money to do the extra. And we got quite a few going over on Aquidneck Island. We have a lot of engineering firms working for us. We have Fuss & O'Neill, Stantec, and Wood. Those are just 3 of our 11 that are really helping with our partnerships. We have partnerships with the Woonasquatucket River Watershed Council, and it's a very strong partnership. It's a $1 million partnership that we are trying to improve the Woonasquatucket River with. We have a partnership with the Rhode Island State Conservation Committee, and they work all over the state of Rhode Island. And we are doing a lot of things at high schools and middle schools and a lot of public education. So we are doing a lot with a lot of partners. And please ignore John Price, he's no longer with Stormwater. But if you have any ideas, you are really welcome to contact me and see what we can do in your area. Right now, EPA and DEM kind of rule our world with what they approve for credit and what they don't. We have not tried to go into Massachusetts for credits yet, but I feel like it is a worthy cause that if we can show them treating in Massachusetts will help the watersheds in Rhode Island, because of course we all know that watersheds don't have state boundaries. That's a really silly thing to be confined to. I really feel like we could do some great partnerships. Rhode Island is definitely going to be our key component. But Mass DOT might also be willing to do things, and I have contacts at Mass DOT, and I think there's contacts that might be on. But we are here to offer funding. We are here to offer engineering services. We are here to offer construction services. There are a couple of hula hoops that have to be gone through. We have to make sure that DOT can get credit. That's what we, there's a watershed goal and there's a target and there's crediting all about that. But if anyone is interested, I'm happy to set up outside meetings and we can discuss what all of that credit means and some ideas. I know Sarah Churgan from the Eastern Conservation District in Rhode Island has a lot of ideas that she can bring. And also Gina from the Northern Rhode Island Conservation District has brilliant ideas too. So we're already working with the Conservation District. So we already have a pathway to get some of these ideas literally in the ground.
Thank you, Allison. That is so much. That's wonderful. A lot of ideas I know are popping to my mind about opportunities, especially that school improvement project that you mentioned. We definitely have a need for that. And I know a few of us on the call have been speaking to the health equity zones as well, thinking about opportunities to identify specific schoolyards that might need greening, both to help with having some actual outdoor space, not just a slab of pavement to play on for kids, but also, improving that stormwater. So in interest of time, I know we are a bit ahead of schedule actually, but I just want to be able to make sure we have any questions for Allison we can answer.
I have a question.
Sure.
What's being done about litter that's being washed down the storm drains? There's a tremendous amount of litter along the banks of the Blackstone after a high water event. And for example, like below the falls in Ashton within the new national park, we picked up 116 nips in one area, above and beyond all other kinds of litter. And we were looking at some storm drains in Woonsocket, and we looked at a product called Stormex. It attaches to the end of the stormwater pipe, and it has netting that collects the litter. They're not that cheap. Have you ever looked into? Could you look into that just to get your opinion on the product? It's called Stormex. They go for like about $7,000 per unit.
Yeah. So for us, for me personally, $7,000 is like, oh, but for DOT in the scheme of our stormwater control plans, that is not a insurmountable sum. Our problem is who's going to collect it afterwards. Our maintenance division is not really capable of looking after such things yet. So when we install such things, we have to be extraordinarily thoughtful about the afterlife of it. DOT could toss it in probably within the month, but it is all about who is going to maintain it, who is going to collect the trash and all of that. We have actually looked into some of those. I don't know the exact ones that we've looked into, and I think have thoughtfully installed some of them, but we have, I don't really want to use the word Shanghai, but we've figured out how to get other people to maintain it. So whether it was the city or what have you, but we were very thoughtful with installing things that we know is going to be a problem for us to maintain. What DOT has done is Rhode Island DOT absolutely knows the effects of litter. We have had some public education campaigns, like, on our signboards, give a hoot, don't litter, or whatever. And I have to say that they are not exceptionally, they're not at all effective. I don't understand, because I can't even throw a banana peel out my window without feeling extraordinarily guilt. But Rhode Islanders and Massachusettsers don't seem to understand. And I think public education is a very hard thing around that. But I mean, we are doing, a education campaign. I don't feel it's very effective. The Rhode Island legislature is actually trying to ban nip bottles because horribly, that is the biggest source of trash on our highways is little alcoholic nip bottles. And now, of course, they're making them plastic instead of glass. So then you have that double fold of plastic in the environment and litter. And so Rhode Island is actually trying to ban the nip bottle, which I don't know if that is going to help with the trash problem or make it worse because now we're going to have fifths all along the roadways. And then we have even more drunken drivers, which is a whole nother issue. So we are looking at trash. We are looking at litter. I have not found anything to be extraordinarily effective yet. You know, I feel like we need to bring Woodsy Owl back and give a hoot and don't pollute. I feel like that was the most effective campaign ever.
The Blackstone Watershed Council would be interested in maintaining, say, one or two of them, maybe to use it as a pilot program to see how much litter we can collect to prove how much litter is coming down through these storm drains. And there's a Woonsocket SEP program that Peter Coffin is running that maybe we could team up with them to work together on this.
I would be all in for that. So I'm going to post my email in the chat along with the public stormwater map. So that map is available to everyone. That's posted on a public website. And please, 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 I beg you to email me and I will head you towards the right person. So I feel like that could be a really good project with maybe the Rhode Island State Conservation Committee. So I don't know if Gina is on here today, but I feel like we already have that partnership in place. And this would be a very easy agreement, especially if you are 100% going to maintain it. Absolutely, all in.
Is Peter still on the call? Peter Coffin?
Yes, John, we can talk further about it because I have some good news. The thunder mist is not limited to Woonsocket, evidently, but yes, we'll talk further.
Great. All right. Thank you. Sounds like a plan.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Any other questions for Allison?
I have one. Just very briefly, I was just curious, prior to the 2014 legal action, was there much public or political awareness of the problem or desire to address it?
I would love to say yes, but no, not really. No, until we got the federal consent decree, there was not a lot of higher level awareness. I mean, obviously, you know, DOT knew that we were regulated like other municipalities, but, you know, it's very hard because, you know, it was always considered an unfunded mandate. As many environmental regulations are, you're not allowed to pollute and that's the end of it. But right now, after the consent decree, there's actually a state law that requires DOT to submit an annual report to the state legislature. So whether or not that gets read, I have a guess, but I will not say it out loud while I'm being recorded. But it is sent to the state legislature. They are aware of the program because it is 100% state funded. So they know that they are required to fund the entirety of the program. So they are aware of it. We have worked with a representative or two, and I can't have the name off the top of my head, but some are more aware than others, but everyone knows of it because it's in the state budget.
Thanks. Any other questions? Before I move on?
I just had one. How do you know that someone has? How do you track down the in-law apartments that are illegally going into the catch basins and things like that? Do you I don't know, analyze the water and then like trace it back like street by street or, junction by junction?
Yeah, well, so I could seriously have my staff scientist, Mark, give a 4-hour presentation on that entire program. The end all be all is we have a ginormous program, a very expensive program of outfall testing and monitoring and inspections and water quality sampling. And the way we have found every illegal connection to our system has been through our maintenance inspectors or our construction inspectors. Eyeballs in the catch basin saying, hey, that's not supposed to be there. It is the best way and most economical way to find these illicit connections. We have spent a extraordinary amount of money with outfall testing, and it has never really given us the smoking gun of the in-law apartment attached to our catch basin. We found that because we did a roadway project that was cleaning and repairing catch basins, and the inspector said, that pipe is PVC. DOT does not install PVC pipes, but the homeowner who put an illegal apartment in their basement did, and they connected the toilet to our catch basin. And that's done on a construction inspection. And that's how we have found the vast majority of our issues like that.
So is that method good enough to meet with a consent decree?
Nope. I wish. Nope. No, we are required to have a full sampling program. Fortunately-ish, we are mostly done with the sampling program. But as we go through all of the consent decree, the stormwater control plans, I have consultants out there looking at all of the catch basins, looking at all of the pipes, sampling all of the pipes. So the consent decree says we shall, and so we do. But the reality is eyeball inspections are the only thing we've ever found useful.
And all the other states have to deal with these same issues, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, Connecticut, all the states are under the same NIPD's permit. It's all under the Clean Water Act. Everyone is in a little bit different level of stages of that. So Connecticut DOT just got their permit, whereas Rhode Island and Massachusetts have had it since I think 2003. So we're all in different phases, but we're all required to do basically the same thing.
Are there a lot of other states under consent decrees that, similar situations that they can't really keep up with what they're required to do?
Whether or I don't think any other state DOT has a consent decree. I know several Rhode Island towns, because we're all under the same permit in Rhode Island. Several Rhode Island towns have consent decrees with DEM. It was a very hard permit to comply with. Again, the whole funding thing is a significant issue, but some towns did better than others. DOT did what DOT did, and now we're doing significantly better. So it's a very difficult program, but it all depends on the commitment of the town or the department. You need funding to do this stuff. And that is hopefully going to be coming for a lot more municipalities when the next permit gets issued. They'll understand that it really does have to be a funded program.
Thanks. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa. Okay, so I wanted to mention one other update that I forgot to say before from the city of Worcester. If anyone is up in that area, I know we have a few folks from Worcester here. They are kicking off their long-range plan, and they would love participation in the survey that is currently live. I will put that in the chat for anyone, and if you live, work, love Worcester, visit Worcester, whatever, they'd love your input there. So thank you for that. Okay, so any other last minute updates before I stop recording, and then we'll go into more of a offline discussion on some of these grant opportunities? Okay, I know we had 4 folks join us since then. If you want to introduce yourselves really briefly, Rebecca?
Hello, everybody. Rebecca Quinones from Mass Wildlife.
Thanks, Rebecca. Paul? Paul, you're on mute.
Right again. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Matheson from WPI.
Thanks. Jesse?
Hi, Jesse Davis from the City of Worcester. I'm the Sustainability Project Manager for the Department of Sustainability and Resilience. Thanks for doing this shout out, Stephanie, for the survey. I know we want to get as many participants as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Deb?
It might be, oh, good. It's not that dark. Yep. Deb Carey with Mass Audubon in Worcester and the
Thanks,
region.
Anyone else that I missed that joined us late? Okay, perfect. Paul, I just wanted to offer you the opportunity as well. We went over university updates. Was there anything in particular that you wanted to mention for WPI?
No, except for the one thing that we've done that I'm kind of excited about. Since my role is sustainability, I will mention that we're joining the Second Nature organization, basically making a carbon commitment. So that's kind of exciting. So that's nice anyways.
Great.
But in terms of the water, we're still working on connecting up with both the city and working on local projects related to simulation and stuff. So no other updates I can think of at the moment.
Perfect. All right. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop recording.